Ever since Windows 8 came out last fall, we've seen a number of hybrid notebooks that double as tablets, but we've never seen anything like this. The ASUS Taichi 21 is an 11.6-inch notebook that turns into a tablet using a second screen on the back of the lid. Let's take a look and see whether this $1599 Ultrabook is worth its hefty price. So let's have a quick tour around the ASUS Taichi 21. As you can see, this is an 11.6-inch notebook, a rather thick bezel, but you kind of need that for having a tablet on the back. It is 0.7 inches thick at its thickest point and only 2.8 pounds, which is really quite light. However, it's also really light on ports. As you can see here, we just have one USB port on this side, and we have a micro HDMI, and then we have our power button, which you pull back and forth. And on the other side over here, we have a second USB port for a total of two, audio in out, mini VGA, a volume rocker, and this lock switch which allows you to prevent the back screen from turning on. But that's it. No SD card reader, no Ethernet, although you do get an adapter. So for $1,600 you're not getting a lot of ports. Now one thing that's really great about the system is its screens. As you may see here, it's very bright and colorful, and what we have here is a 1920 by 1080 11.6-inch screen, so really sharp, so sharp in fact that you will probably want to turn up the magnification of the fonts. By default, ASUS has it turned up to 125%. Over here we've got the keyboard, which is an island style keyboard as you might expect. It has a backlight with 4 different modes that you can use that go from off to very bright. The keyboard itself has good tactile feedback. It's a little cramped, but we were able to achieve a pretty good typing score on it because it has good travel and the keys give you good force in return. Obviously, you also have a front-facing webcam on here that is 720p 0.9 megapixel. What we found is that the kind of photos it takes are not particularly impressive. In fact, they tend to be a little bit noisy. So if we take a look at some of the things that we've shot with it, you'll see that the pictures that we've taken of using the front camera are, very dark and noisy, but they do manage to at least capture the color in low light. Now, the big news is when we flip this closed, on the back here, we have another HD screen. This is also 1920 by 1080, and it's actually a little bit brighter. It's about 269 lux, about 30 lux brighter on our light meter than the internal screen. This back here, very hard. It's an HD9 level glass hardness, so you really can't scratch it. It supports 10-finger touch, and it supports an active stylus, which comes with a $1599 model. If we go into Windows Paint, we would be able to see that we can draw with 10 fingers. And if we go into Fresh Paint, you'll see that with a stylus, we're able to do pressure-sensitive drawing. The neat thing about this, though, is it doesn't just double as a tablet. It provides a new kind of functionality that we've always wanted, which is the ability to show some content to the person who's sitting across from you. So you can just imagine the situation where you're trying to show a PowerPoint deck to a client, or you're trying to show a mock-up to someone you're building a website for, and they're sitting across from you at the coffee table. It's really quite awkward to have to take a computer and turn it around or ask them to lean over your shoulder, particularly if you're gossiping about them in another window. So what ASUS has provided here is a way that you can actually activate both screens at once and use the second screen either in mirror mode, where it will show the exact same contents as the primary screen, or as an extended desktop. So this button over here, known as the Taichi button next to F12, brings up this menu here. And you can see at the top of the menu screen here, it shows the 4 modes. And we can basically, if we hit the button again, where we can switch between the modes. So the first mode here was notebook, now tablet only. This is mirror mode, and the 4th mode, the one that we really like, is dual screen mode. So when we do the dual screen mode, what happens is that the back of the computer is now activated, and you can see that there is a second desktop on the back. You are getting a really, really fantastic screen resolution and screen color on both sides of the notebook, but here's what you're not getting. What's really disappointing is that there's no touch support on the internal screen. So you would expect, especially because you can touch the back, that you could, do something. And even though we know that we can't, we keep finding ourselves reaching across to try and touch the screen. And guess what? It doesn't work on the internal screen. For this price, you really should be able to have touch. Because obviously, once you close it, you're back in touch mode here, and once you close it, you're back in touch mode here, and you can move around very nicely. So that's a bit perplexing. So here are the things that we like about the ASUS Taichi 21. We love the screen switching technology. We're really big fans of the potential of this technology to allow you to show presentations and share different content with someone sitting across from you, as well as its prowess as a tablet. We really like the sharp 1080p screens that are colorful and allow you to adjust their color, and the sound quality is absolutely excellent. Our configuration of the ASUS Taichi 21 costs $1599. It comes with a stylus, a Core i7 processor, and a 256 gigabyte SSD. However, you can get this for $1299 with a Core i5 processor, 128 gigabytes of SSD, and no stylus. But either way, this is an expensive system when you think about the cost of buying a regular Ultrabook like the ThinkPad X1 Carbon or the MacBook Air, or you think about combining that with a regular tablet like the $499 Apple iPad. For this price, you really should be getting more battery life, and you should be getting really a flawless touchpad experience, a good camera, everything working perfectly in sync. That said, if you're an early adopter, you're someone who's really fascinated by having that second screen on the back, which is a really excellent concept you won't get anywhere else, the ASUS Taichi 21 is definitely worth a look.